All right, let's get into it.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Eddie, for joining us. We appreciate you taking some of your time out of your schedule and just sitting down and kind of talking to us about the behind the scenes of running a toy shop and all the stuff that goes on with the relationship with Hasbro and Mattel and, well, hopefully a Mattel relationship,
Yep.
but NECA and, Super 7 and we're just excited that you're willing to answer some questions. And we've filtered out all the all the people asking when's order 1177454 shipping. Um, Really, it's just that one person, and we banned them.
Yeah. Okay, no worries. No, no, I'm excited to be here. I'm glad to do it. Eager to do it. So, yeah. So, yeah, I guess just fire away. So, yeah.
Also, I just want
Well,
to say
our
before we get started, this has nothing to do with you coming here to do the AMA or anything, but I absolutely love your store. I buy everything exclusively from it, even if it sometimes doesn't come as soon as everything else. And I really appreciate everything you do
Oh,
for the
okay. Thank you.
community.
Oh, thank you. You're very nice to say that. I appreciate that. Yes, it's anyone who runs or works in a small business knows that generally they're a work in progress. So it's sometimes I feel like that we've been successful in spite of our best efforts. But yes, things are going pretty good right now. So yes. So okay.
Well, Eddie, one of the questions that
Mhm.
was submitted to us is kind of. I think that it's you've got an interesting story, and they kind of wanted to know how you got Dorkside Toys started and what kind of inspired you to start the business. And I know that there's some anecdotes that you've got involved in that. So if you want to just kind of go over where the birth of Dorkside was.
Okay. Sure. I'll try to give you the abbreviated version. So I imagine that I'm a lot older than you guys. So I'm in my early 50s, and I always loved Star Wars as a kid. Had the action figures, and it was just I just loved it. And so when I got older, when I was in my 20s and stuff, and when Power of the Force 2 kind of rolled back around, I was gobbling them up left and right. I was going to school part time, and I would hit like 10 or 12 stores a day on my commute from home to school. So all through the 90s, I acquired just a ton of Power of the Force 2. I just loved Star Wars, and that was I was all into it. So as I got near 30 years old, I really didn't have honestly, I didn't have much going on in my life. I was kind of working at a bike shop. Probably didn't have $300 to my name. Really didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. I knew what I didn't want to do, which was work in a factory, but I didn't. I had no clear direction. So
Sounds
I
like me
always felt I
now.
was. Yes, yes. So let me. I'll tell you, there's hope. Don't feel like you're lost if you're in your 20s and you don't know what you're going to do with your life.
Yeah,
You got a
I'm
long time to figure it out.
47.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no,
Well,
I'm
you
just
still got
kidding.
time. Yeah.
47. I'm not
Yeah. Yeah.
47 every day.
So, well, as I when as I approached 30, I decided to go back to school, and I decided that I wanted to go to medical school. A couple of my good friends are emergency room doctors, and I thought, well, I'm single. I got nothing else. I can just do this. I can do this. So I got in school, and I was broke, and my class schedule really wouldn't allow me to work much because we had lots of labs and stuff. If you've ever taken physics or quantitative analysis or any of this other stuff that people hate, it's quite time consuming. Um, so I started selling on eBay a little bit in 2005, and I was selling off the stuff that I had, just the stuff that I had been collecting for 10 years, and I really liked it. And it kind of turned into it was just kind of a part-time gig where I was making $50 a day, and I was still in school, and I got to my junior year in school, and I kind of got to where I was doing, maybe $1,000 a week in sales on eBay, and I was like, I kind of really like this. It's kind of like I kind of like being my own boss and kind of calling the shots. It was just me doing it out of my house, and so in late 2005, I decided just to quit school. I was like, I'm just going to go this route. I'm going to be an eBay seller. I never, I don't have family. I don't have kids, wife, or anything. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I can support myself, and that's all I wanted to do. So I sold full time on eBay for 7 years prior to opening Dorkside. So once we kind of reached a level where I was doing about $1,000 a day in sales on eBay, and I thought it's kind of turning into a real business. It's a real business. I need to like open my own store and kind of branch out, and that's kind of what we did. That was kind of the start. And I think we got the site online. I think the first store came online in 2011, and we updated it in 2013, which was the old platform that we just recently left. And I kind of just grinded at that for about 10 years. We just this it's hard to believe that Dorkside's 10 years old, but yeah, I guess next year it'll be 10 years old. But along the way, I've definitely, I think Ben knows about this. I actually um, I went through a little bit of a rough spot where we we nearly went out of business, and so I was homeless for a bit and lived in a warehouse, and then
Wow.
yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, the official Dorkside warehouse.
Yes, yes, it was about. Sorry, I still get a little bit emotional about it. I think about it. It was about 1,200 square feet, first one. So yeah, I lived there. It was awful. It was terrible. So I didn't have a car, and then yeah, so that was about 2 years of basically hell. I got through that, and then the site was still growing. I mean, we were still doing pretty significant numbers at that time. I mean, I was basically homeless, but the store was still doing $1 million a year in sales, which is, I know it's hard to reconcile that when you say, "Wow, you're doing 7 figures a year in sales, but you don't have two nickels to rub together." That was basically what it was. It was very This business is very very tough. The margins are very thin, and it was pretty tough years. But we managed to get through that period, and then we started things started breaking our way. 2017, 2018. I spent all of 2019 building the new store when we transferred over to Shopify, and that was really that's kind of where it flipped for us. We went from being, I don't want to say a nobody, but we were kind of a nobody, to where we were started doing significant numbers, and our sales doubled, you know, from 2019 to 2020. And we were already a 7 figure a year operation. Like as I said, we were 2016 we crossed that point. So things have increased for us dramatically within the last 18 months. Our sales have just rocketed up, and we've kind of had all of the problems on the back end that businesses that are growing really fast have. We ran out of space in our warehouse. We didn't have the kind of proper procedures behind the scenes, purchase order systems, inventory management systems, all this stuff. So, anyways, I'm getting drawn out here, but yes, um, owning your own business is wonderful. I make a good salary now. I have tremendous amounts of freedom. Our prospects are really good. We're probably going to be an 8 figure a year company and not too terribly, distant future. But it was brutal.
Um,
How much
so
of that do you attribute to just the business, or how much do you attribute to, I guess, streamlining the business to make sure that you're focusing on the right products, or the community itself growing to the point that it could support a larger operation?
Well, it's never, when we got into trouble, it wasn't one there wasn't one issue that kind of that caused us to nearly caused me to go bankrupt. It was, our expenses were really high, and the site just did not have the kind of traction that it has now. We just didn't get the traffic that we do now. So once we found ways to cut our expenses, which I had to let some people go, that was not pleasant. Then we had to go back and we had to make some hard calls about the vendors, the people that we have relationships with, and the vendors, the stuff that we buy. So at that point, we basically said, we can't buy Funko anymore. It's just costing me too much money. It's just sitting here piling up. People only want to buy exclusives, and so we just basically, we were spending maybe like 100 grand a year with Funko at that time, and we don't spend anything with them anymore. So after we kind of did that, kind of got our house in order, and just kept grinding. There was no kind of eureka moment where it flipped for us. I say maybe when the new store went online, when the Shopify store went online a year or so ago, because we saw such a dramatic increase in our sales. And it's kind of been of a grind. As I said earlier, it's kind of been a 10-year grind. And we just kind of been plodding along and plodding along to the point to where we are now, to where it's we're not the size of Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toy Store, but we are. I'll say this: to get an account with Hasbro, it's a tremendous commitment, and we did not have the ability to make that kind of commitment prior to last year. I mean, we were buying when they don't go into business with small companies. Like they don't just. There's probably a lot of companies you guys think who have direct accounts who don't. Um, but yeah, it took a while for us to, as I said, just trying to get our house in order, get our finances in order, get that. But once we got our direct Hasbro account, that allowed us to have a significant increase in our credit limit. We could buy more stuff. We could make larger commitments on the front end. That's when things started to change for us. The business um, just it changed for me. Personally, I was able to buy a house. The people that work here, I'm able to pay them well. So, but it's been difficult. It's been really difficult.
So, I know you said it was emotional for you, and I don't want to bring you back to that.
Yeah,
But when you were
yeah.
living in that warehouse and you were about to go bankrupt, did you ever? How close did you come to just saying, you know what, I'm just going to give this up and become and work at like Best Buy or something like that? Was that ever even a consideration for you?
It was a consideration. I had to sell my house.
Oh wow! So you really put it all on the line.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, when you guys moved to the new warehouse, you showed me the moving truck, the box truck that you
The
guys would
yeah,
use to pick up your.
we had a box truck. So Dorkside has a box truck. So that was my yeah. Sorry, apologies there. Yeah, that was my primary vehicle. I had to after I sold my Jeep. I drove our box truck. I can look back at it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. But yeah, I would have to go to Kroger in the box truck. I'd have to go to drive-throughs in the box truck. So it's a good story now, but it was a difficult time.
So right now, you guys are growing. You guys are seeing tremendous success.
Yes.
Do
Yes.
you guys anticipate adding international shipping options to start having a further reach, or is it still primarily just North America type stuff?
We ship internationally, but we're really selective about the countries we ship to. Um, the issue comes down to money. A lot of the countries that we ship to now, I have a lot of confidence in their postal systems. Places like the UK or Canada, Australia, New Zealand, pretty much anywhere in Europe, they usually have pretty good postal systems. We don't ship to South or Central America, which is really kind of a bummer because I know there is a lot of Star Wars fans there, and we would love to service those customers, but we've just not found a way that we can do it that makes sense for us financially. Um, it's just it's just when I sold on eBay full time, I shipped a lot of packages to South America, and it got to be kind of a black hole where we were just shipping stuff and then having to refund money and refund and issue refunds, and I just we just couldn't afford to continue to eat those losses. So we use the service now. We use FedEx International Mail Service for international service, and it's actually a really good service. If you live in Canada or Australia or any of these other places, it ships when it leaves our warehouse. It ships via express, so it generally ships from it ships express from the United States to Sweden, I think it's Sweden or Switzerland, one of the two. I can't remember what it is. They have a big FedEx has an huge international sorting hub there. That's why they go there first. Even if it's going to Canada, it's still got to go to Sweden first and then over to Canada. It's just the type of service. But we've used some U.S. postal mail consolidators here before. But this FedEx service, for the money and the speed, it's hands down much better than anything else we've been able to use.
Is there a Sweden Smart Post equivalent?
Well, that's what we're using. That's what we're currently using. Yes, I know. Yes, I know people trash. I know people don't like Smart Post. Um, hey, it could be Pitney Bowes. you know, I've spoken to Pitney Bowes before. They sent me an email last week to follow up about it, but I don't read much positive comments about Pitney Bowes. So yeah, it's cheaper than what we currently use, but I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I know it'd save us some money, but I'd rather just continue to use Smart Post.
Eddie, I want next day $5 flat rate shipping on every
You
order.
guys I know. That's Amazon. I'm telling you, they have conditioned people, and I'm always going, knuckle to knuckle with FedEx and UPS about the shipping rates. But Amazon, because they have all these other businesses like AWS and stuff like that, they're printing money, so they can absorb and just have tremendous, tens and tens of millions of dollars in losses in shipping, and continue to operate. But us or Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, we cannot. We still lose money on shipping. I mean, we lose tens of thousands of dollars a year on shipping. I would imagine places like Entertainment Earth, they probably lose six figures a year in shipping. But it's kind of the cost of doing business. Amazon has kind of established people's expectations. There's a free shipping threshold, and if we didn't have that, it would have a dramatic impact on our business. So, it's just the nature of the business for online. We have to just accept it, and that's the rules we play by. So,
Okay, and we have another question here from Christian Pyro.
sure.
He's asking, what are some of your best-selling items? I guess you could just say it like of all time.
Okay. You mean number of units sold, or are you talking about what line do we sell the most? Is that kind of what you're
So
asking?
let's go with
Well, I
what
think we
line
have
you sell the
some.
most.
Okay.
What
So
were you saying?
traditionally, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I think that's the context, but behind that, I think, is we have a lot of Marvel Legends collectors. We have a lot of Black Series collectors. We have a lot of Vintage Series collectors.
Sure.
So I think it would be interesting to hear like what your all-time best-selling item was, if like you sold just massive amounts of giant oversized Pop Yodas, or
Well, that's definitely not the case. Actually, well, the Beskar Mandalorian last year was a phenomenal seller. We ordered we ordered 10,000 Beskar Mandalorians last year, and we still not gotten them all, but we did get over 7,000 of them sold. We sold and shipped that many of them. So
and
for an
that's
operation our
Black
size,
Series,
if you sell 7,000 of one action figure, that's kind of a lot. So yes, that's probably been most recent memory. That's
I'm sure I
that's the
counted for at
best.
least two of those purchases.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, yeah. So, but it's kind of it goes. It's the lines themselves between Marvel and Star Wars. It's right now we're selling a ton of Star Wars. Last year we sold a ton of Star Wars. But like a couple of years before that, we were selling more Marvel. There was more Marvel. There were more offerings. There were 10 waves versus Star Wars where you're getting 6 or 8. So we were selling more Marvel. There were multi-packs and fan channel exclusives and stuff like that. So there were just more offerings. So we were going to sell more Marvel. But one of the things that we've done, and this week we were having our Hasbro kind of toy fair meetings with them. So we met with them Monday, and then we met with them again today. And kind of my conversations with them, like over the last few weeks, is I've just continued to hammer them that they're my feelings on this are that they need to do a better job with Star Wars. That there's not enough offerings. We could sell as many waves of Legends as that they produce. We could sell just that many waves of Black Series. There needs to be more waves of Vintage Collection. The 4 waves of whatever we get is just pitiful. It needs to be like 6 or 8 waves. So they're leaving money on the table with the brand as Star Wars as a whole. So yeah, all I can do is complain and tell them. My feelings are, I think with the success of the Mandalorian, things are going to get better. Um, we buy several $1 million a year worth of Hasbro Star Wars, but that's not really that's not enough to move the needle. It has to be the big stores until Walmart or Target, until those guys buy in heavy on Star Wars as a brand. Probably not going to get a lot better. It's probably going to remain about where it is. I see on my Twitter feed, I see complaints all the time about people talking about Walmart and trashing Hasbro about it, but it's really not a Hasbro thing. It's a Walmart thing. Until they decide they want to be back in the toy business and be back in the Star Wars toy business, it's kind of the way it is going to be. So they're Hasbro's in the business. I mean, these companies they're not withholding product from Walmart. They're not doing that. So if your Walmart sucks, it's a Walmart problem, but not a Hasbro
When you have these conversations with Hasbro,
problem.
what's the feeling that do you feel like they listen to you, or do you feel like you're just kind of bouncing things off of a brick wall?
Well, we deal with the sales teams. So the guys that you see in the live streams are the marketing and the brand teams. So we
Right.
don't really interact with those guys ever. I mean, typically our interactions with them are with the sales teams. So yes, they're very receptive. Um, very nice people. Our sales rep is great. But like a lot of things, the decisions are not made at that level. They're made at higher levels. So oftentimes the sales reps are in agreement with what we tell them. But again, they're not in the position to make the calls on the scope of the line, what gets made, what doesn't get made, things like that. So,
I know in some of the live streams, we've heard the story that there's items that just wouldn't exist without being a retailer exclusive, where they say that, this Mandalorian and Child 2-pack for the vintage collection wouldn't be available unless Walmart decided to pick it up as an exclusive. And
yeah,
then we see Walmart just completely bungle the rollout of that exclusive.
yeah.
Where in that process could you, as a retailer, step up and say, where can we get an exclusive on that caliber or that level?
Um, well, I don't, the truth is, I don't know that any of the fan channel retailers will ever have an individual exclusive again. Maybe that'll change in the future if there's different leadership I'll say on the Star Wars brand. We'll use that for example. Maybe they will, but right now they seem interested in exclusive products being limited to the big box retailers. And I understand why they do it. They want to do it because those guys. There's not a Walmart, or you could probably take all the Walmarts. I'm not probably. I know you could take all the Walmarts in Tennessee and in the entire South. They're not going to sell more Black Series figures than us. Uh, Best Buy does not sell more Black Series than Entertainment Earth. It just does not exist. Problem is that us or Best Buy, I mean us or Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toy Store, we're not buying 10,000 Easy Bake Ovens, and we're not buying 10,000 for real friends, and all these other things. I'm guessing. So yeah, I mean that's a lot of money, and so yeah, they're gonna spend the most money. You're gonna get the best stuff. So yeah, I think that's probably where that's how that comes in. But I'm with you guys. I fully understand your frustration with the way that the exclusives are put out. That's we don't have any. That
Well, what
never
are you
comes up.
talking about? There's no frustration.
Yeah, I know.
Hasbro
It's
is
all wonderful. Yeah,
Hasbro's the
yeah. It's just
greatest.
I know, I know.
Yeah,
Listen, I had the conversation with them today. I told them straight up today. I was like, listen, Star Wars has too many exclusives. It's just from a fan. I come at this from a fan perspective because I'm just like you guys, huge Star Wars collector. I love Star Wars. I still collect, and it's frustrating when you can't go to the stores and get what you want, or you have to, or if you order online and it comes folded in a bubble mailer.
oh god,
If you
I
make a
had
product that is a collector line focused, it should be available in accounts that service collectors. That's my feelings.
We had that happen today with the Black Series Shock Trooper from GameStop. Thanks, GameStop.
Hmm. Yes, yes. I ordered a couple of the incinerator triple vintage collection from Walmart. I actually got one in really good condition. I was stunned, and then I had another one
It
that
is
was
kind
folded
of
in
random.
half. Yes, yes. So that's I don't listen. These operations like Walmart and Target, those are huge brick and mortar operations, and they're just a vintage collection incinerator trooper to them is no different than
Oh, I
stationery or anything else that you order. It's
I
just a
used to
product.
I used to work back
Yeah.
there in the packing section of the Walmart warehouse,
Hmm.
and the
Sure.
the sheer like quota combined with the amount of time you have combined with the fact that the machines are
Hmm.
breaking down means you don't have any time at
Hmm.
all to give a crap about it. Basically all they care
Yeah,
about is if
exactly.
it fits in the box, and
Yes,
like
that's
there's a
exactly right.
very loose definition of fitting, you know what I mean? Like that's all that
Yes,
all they care about is keeping their job, you know.
yes. I would encourage anyone, and this is not me plugging Dorkside. If you are a serious collector and you're concerned about the condition of your packaging, buy from a store who services the interests of collectors, whether it's us or it's Big Bad Toy Store or it's Entertainment Earth, someplace like that. Who we do our own fulfillment. Big Bad does their own fulfillment. Entertainment Earth does their own fulfillment. So we have direct control over how our people pack. Uh, you guys may notice I left out Hasbro Pulse because Hasbro Pulse is managed by third party vendors. So I think they probably do a better job than what Walmart and places like that do. But yeah, you're still going to get stuff that's effed up. Yeah, I would just spend my dollars at stores that cater to collectors. They have your
I
interests at
I
heart.
do feel pretty silly trying to, like, explain to Amazon why the packaging is a problem, why the
It just
packaging needs to be perfect. I'm just like, "Oh, why am I even bothering trying to tell these people this?"
yes, they don't they don't give a shit. Is this you're wasting your time? Yeah, you're
Yeah.
wasting your time.
Well, that this actually ties into a question somebody asked,
Yeah,
which was, "How
sure.
do you
Okay.
make sure items are packaged for shipment to avoid damage, and are products getting more or less delicate over time in terms of packaging quality to avoid damage when shipping?" And that's
Okay,
from
so you're asking
Curry.
how do we ensure that the products ship from us to the individuals without damage?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So well, let me just say this. Let me back before that comes in. So when our goods that come from Hasbro, NECA, they come in. They're shipped via LTL. They come on trucks, big trucks, on pallets, and they don't take a ton of care in the way they're packaged. Oftentimes, pallets flip over in trucks. We've seen pallets stacked on pallets. I unloaded a 9 foot pallet yesterday when I was down at the warehouse that had all this really cool vintage collection stuff in the middle of the pallet with about 20 cases of Gamorrean Guard stacked on top of it. So the guys that work in the warehouses at the warehouse in at Hasbro, when they're shipping the stuff out, it could be Monopoly games. We want them. There's nothing we can do. We get a certain amount of product that comes in damaged as it is. But once it gets into our warehouse, we take the damaged stuff out. Either we sell it loose on our eBay store, or we put it up on Dorkside and try and sell it non-mint. But once it's in our hands, our people have all been instructed. The people that pick these orders that we don't send out Black Series figures that are creased or bent or vintage collections that are folded over. And that does not go on. No one sends out. We do not send them out like that. Once it's out of our hands, we really just like any other. We don't have any control if the post office decides to run over it with the mail truck. I can't control that. I'm going to be responsible for it, and it's going to cost me money because I'm going to have to replace it or give a refund or something like that. But we do take care in the way that we package your items. Um, off the top of my head, I know that if you've ordered vintage collection from us, many times you'll get it. It'll be shipped in boxes with packing peanuts. I hate packing peanuts. They're terrible. We know they're terrible for the environment, but the packing peanuts, in my experience, have been one of those things that we've used that have best protect the vintage collection figures that we ship out. And we have to reach a balance. We have to kind of strike a balance when we're packing stuff because can't individually wrap all these things in bubble wrap and just send them all out. Like we've got too many orders. We can't do that. So we have to find something. We use a lot of craft paper. I know Entertainment Earth uses craft paper. So we try to do things like that. We'll put the item. We try to get it in the center of the box. Have paper surrounding all the corners of it, um, and hope that it doesn't get damaged. But if it does get damaged, then we do our part to see if we can get replacements or issue refunds or stuff like that. But that's again, that goes back to I'm incredibly lucky in that I, owning Dorkside, it's not a difficult job to sell what we buy. We could be selling insurance and nobody wants to hear about that stuff, right? So it's not hard for me to sell 5,000 Beskar Mandalorians or whatever. But part of that comes a responsibility that we have to be there, that if those things come and they're run over or they're smashed, then we have to do the right thing and try and service our customers' needs. So, and in today's world, look, you just can't. People are smart. You can't pull the wool over. You have to be there for people if they have issues, with their order. Um, you can't do it half-assed. You have to be all in if you want to be successful.
Yeah, you guys have always been great. That's one of the reasons why I do order from you guys, even when another store has something first or something like
But
that.
sure, yeah. Well, we appreciate that. Well, I've said this many times on the forums that we're far from perfect, but we generally try and do our best. We want we you know we're I know we make mistakes and people get upset with us, but I sleep comfortably at night knowing that we try to do the best job we can to see that you get your items in a timely manner and that you get them in the best condition possible.
You did
Yeah,
bring up a point that I kind of want to touch on.
Sure.
I know that it can be frustrating as a customer when you see Entertainment Earth get a new wave of Black Series months before Big Bad Toy Store, or months before Dorkside, or I mean, even when you see a new wave of the Boba
Sure.
Fett vintage series on the pegs at Target, and you've had a pre-order, since the day that they went up, that Hasbro allowed customers to get pre-orders. Can you kind of go over how Hasbro, I guess, not waits how they ship the product out, but that it's not necessarily a Dorkside problem or an Entertainment Earth problem or a Big Bad Toy Store problem. It's a Hasbro logistics issue.
Sure, sure. I'm glad you asked that question because this is something that I don't think many, even though hardcore fans, really understand how the process works for distribution from a retailer standpoint. So I'm going to use the most recent example of the Black Series wave with the Bo-Katan. That's a perfect example. I think EE just shipped some of those or just started shipping them. So, and I asked Hasbro about it last week when I started seeing it pop up online, and we started getting lots of questions about it. Um, so when we order our goods come in from what Hasbro domestic stock. So basically, what that means is that Hasbro produces the goods, they bring them over on ships that they contract with. The goods go into Hasbro's warehouses, and then it's filtered through their kind of distribution network, and they send them out. That's pretty straightforward. How most people, that's probably have a pretty solid understanding. That's how it works. But that's not the only way that retailers, particularly specialty retailers, can get goods. So, speaking about Entertainment Earth, they're the largest distributor for Hasbro goods in the U.S. And because they're of that size, they do, and Big Bad does this as well. We've not really done a lot of this, but they do what's called direct imports. So that's basically where the goods, where an entire production run is made based on their order quantity. Goods, Entertainment Earth basically takes possession of the goods in China. They'll have some kind of forwarder they pay for the goods to be shipped over, to the U.S. and the goods come directly to them. That doesn't go into a Hasbro warehouse. Like I said, it's an entire production run made just for them. And that it has a lot of advantages because you're not those goods are it's not you're not getting these goods from a shared pool. As it is right now, our goods come from Hasbro Domestic. So it's a shared pool. They ship GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart, Target, Big Bad, Entertainment Hours. We all are getting goods from a shared pool of inventory. Imports are great, but they come with a fair amount of risk. So sometimes it pays off really good, like it did with EE with the most recent Bo-Katan wave. But it didn't pay off for them with like the most recent X-Men Marvel Legends. Like Hasbro's domestic order arrived in the US before EE's import order. So we shipped those X-Men 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And I'm not sure that EE's even started shipping them yet. And that's the risk comes in that if your goods get stuck in the docks, you could be weeks behind or Hasbro domestic, when those goods arrive. Hasbro will bring goods in from the West Coast. They can bring them in from the East Coast. They can bring them in through the Gulf. EE's going to primarily bring stuff in. If they import it, they're going to primarily bring it in on the West Coast and the Port of Long Beach. So yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot. Yeah. We'll probably start doing some importing in the future, particularly on items that we know that are going to be there's a large demand for, just so we can ensure that we get what the full balance of our order in a single shipment. But yeah, if it arrives late, you're kind of stuck with it. You just there's no sending it back, and it's and another thing I didn't touch on is a lot of times the terms when you do imports like that, that's a prepayment. So yeah, it requires significant resources to do that type of stuff. So yeah, so that explains like in that particular example, that's what's going on. But I think once they reach domestic, I think Hasbro again, they're not gonna. I've asked them about it. They're not gonna comment. I'm sure comment on it, confirm my suspicions. But look, Target again, Walmart, those guys spend a ton of money with them, and they're if I were in their position, I would probably give them priority fulfillment as well. But as it is, we things have been pretty good for us recently, particularly on the Marvel side. It's been really good for us. We've been shipping Marvel well before a lot of competitors' imports orders have been arriving. Star
Yeah, I'm
Wars
pretty
is
sure you guys were early on
yeah,
the Spider-Man wave as
yes, we
well.
shipped
Yeah.
that before Christmas. Yes, so but Star Wars it's I don't want to say it's a crapshoot, but it kind of is. I mean, we got some of the most recent vintage collection in. Our customer service staff is going to kill me for saying this, but we got some of the most recent Boba Fett that wave in with the new Boba Fett and the Bespin Leia. And I don't remember how many cases we ordered, but it's hundreds of cases, and they sent us like six on the first shipment, 6 cases. So yeah, that's because they got in a bunch of cases and they've divvied them out. They've sent them to Target or they sent them to Best Buy or whoever else that that's above us in the pecking order, and then we get our little bit. But yeah, there'll be another container arriving soon, and I'm sure we'll get a lot more. So yeah,
And that's probably, I know that a lot of people in, the Facebook groups and stuff, they see this wave hitting and everybody gets,
yes,
fear of missing out
yes,
syndrome and
yes,
think,
yes.
okay, I need to go hit every Target because one person in Indiana found a Boba Fett at a Target.
Yes, they think that. Well, and I should have elaborated a little bit more on this. So Hasbro literally they have containers arriving every single week. So when they make a if they when they build like a wave of vintage collection, all of the product that they've committed, if they're saying that we're going to build, I don't know, 300,000 units of an assortment, that does not arrive in the states in a single shipment. They don't bring all of it. It usually arrives in multiple shipments. So that's why you see stuff that's why you see like if you've heard me comment before on the Foosh, I'll say, yeah, we may have ordered 500 cases of something and we got in 200 in this one. That's because when the goods arrive, they divvy them out. We're ordering from a shared pool. They've given Big Bad some, they've given EE some, they've sent some to to Amazon and places like that. So that's why in some instances, particularly more in Star Wars, not so much in Marvel anymore. We usually get our Marvel in a single shot, but that's what's going on. They've got more containers arriving, and they just got their first shipment out. So
So this is more of a fun question,
okay,
but do you eat pineapple on pizza?
I do not. I am very weird about my food.
Gross.
Yeah, I just like cheese pizza. I'm like 11.
Amen.
I'm like good. Yeah, but it just if I have anything other than cheese, it just tears me up. It's not a pleasant day. So it's just cheese pizza, but I love pizza. I have it way too much. There's a
I'll put some
local
olives
place
on it.
close to my house. Oh yeah. So I love this
That's
local
about
place right close to my house. I go there way too much. So yeah. So
That was a real hard hitting
all right.
question, TS. Good job.
Yes, yes. Okay. I
I
think I'm
ask
I think I'm
all the
properly
ones.
composed now. If you have any other questions about Dorkside, I think I've composed myself now. I can speak on it. So if you got any other questions about the business and stuff like that, just I'll be happy to answer them. So
Because we've been asking you all the easy ones so far.
yeah, so yeah, so
Well, all right then. We do have one by Funkin' Deep Hops, which is a great name, who
okay,
says,
fire away. All right.
I want to start a hobby store, but there is so much that goes into it. How would I go about starting my own store to sell figures and other such items? And I'm piggybacking onto this because you've kind of inspired me a little bit, and now I'm interested. So add me onto
Okay.
this question as a plus two.
Okay. So as a business owner, I would I would tell you to go balls to the wall. I would jump in and go for it. Um, you just get one shot in life, so just seize it and go for it if you want to go into business for yourself. But know that when you go into business, there are risks, and you're going to have to. You could lose big. You could lose your ass. So, but you could win big too. Um, as I was detailing earlier about how things were difficult for me early on, things are pretty good for me right now. So I have a nice house, some pretty nice cars. Things are good for me right now, but it's been an up and down journey. But yes, if you want to get into this business specifically, um, the first step is I would start small. I would not borrow money. I would work out of your house. That's what I did. I worked out of my house. Um, It's easy to go get yourself a wholesale account with Entertainment Earth or Diamond Comics and trying to get started. That's the first step. Get a business license. Uh, you don't want your state, your tax authority coming after you. So do the right thing. But then leverage your knowledge. Things that we're all. I'm sure everybody in here. How many of us? What do we got? Like 10 or 12 folks in here. Everybody here are probably hardcore collectors and can utilize the knowledge that they know. Like, hey, look, if I told you that there's a new Black Series Boba Fett based on his appearance in The Mandalorian coming, well, literally everybody in this room, I'm sure, is going to agree that's going to be a monster hit. So that kind of unique knowledge that you have. Leverage that because not a lot of folks have that. So if you're going to go into the collectibles business in this business, start small. It's easy to get an account at Entertainment Earth, and just be prepared. You're going to have wins, but you're going to have losses. You're going to have losses, and people are going to talk shit about you, and they're going to say, but you just have to be prepared. You have to just have the ability to just overcome, just
By
continue growing.
losses, you mean like buying shipments of toys that don't sell, like that type of
You're
thing?
going to buy stuff. You're going to make the wrong decisions. You're going to buy too much. You're going to buy too little. You're just what I when I in building Dorkside, one thing I say this all the time when I'm at the warehouse. By the way, I should say this. I don't work at our warehouse. Our warehouse is about an hour away from my home. I work at home. So me and another guy actually manage the site. But I try to get there onto the warehouse at least once or twice a week. So I have this saying, it's awful, but I say no job is ever done right at Dorkside until we do it twice. So even it's just like stupid shit. If it's unloading a truck and the pallet falls over, and I'm like, damn it, I got to pick all this shit up off the ground and like restack it on the pallet. It's just stuff like that. You're going to have losses. People are going to try to rip you off. People are going to file chargebacks. We get a lot of that. It's just, but the wins at the end of the day, the wins will, if you can hang in there, the wins will generally outnumber the losses. Know that you're not going to, probably not going to be an overnight success. It's going to be tough, and it's a long grind. And as I said earlier, the margins in this business, in the toy business, particularly Hasbro stuff, is not very good. So if you come from a different business, maybe apparel or something like that, I don't know. Maybe the margins are better, but if we get 28% margin, I'm doing cartwheels. So that's pretty good margin on Hasbro. So and there are other things at play. If Amazon decides to mark an item down and sell it below cost, and you're sitting on 1,000 of them, well, guess what? You're probably going to be sitting on 1,000 of them for a long time. So you got to have resources. So yeah,
Those items wouldn't include a initial release Black Series Hera, would they?
oh my God, how did I know you were going to bring that up? So you know the story, but I know nobody else knows the story. So I'll share this story. So in the midst of 2017, when that wave came out that had the original Black Series Hera, um, so we have to give Hasbro a forecasting order, um, which is not a. It's an order that they use to. That's the forecast orders are what they take to manufacturing, and then they use those numbers and they combine them all, and then we actually book the order at a later period. So in 2000, I was really frustrated and upset with how allocations we were just getting cut. Our orders were getting cut and cut and cut and cut. We'd order 1,000 cases and we'd get like 250, and I'm just like, I was like, what the fuck? I'm so sick of this. I can't take this. So I knew the Black Series Hera, the first go around, the Black Series Hera was going to be really big. So I was like, fuck it, we're ordering put in an order for like 3,200. No, it was 4,000 units of Hera. 4,000 units now is not a number that we struggle with. But in 2000, because we're 5 times bigger than we were back then. But at that point, that's like that's a significant amount of figures for a company our size back then. And I thought for sure they would. I was gambling. I thought for sure they would cut our order, but they didn't. And they shipped all 4,000 of them to me. And so there I am, homeless in my warehouse. I could make a bed out of the 4,000 Heras that I had there. It was a total fucking mess. I could not believe they filled the order. I'm sure that, probably nobody else got them. I'm sure EE probably canceled some orders, probably didn't get them because they all shipped them to us. But yeah, it was like that was one of the ones where you're just like, man, I was swinging for the fences and I struck out twice. It couldn't have gone worse for me. It was just like, and we didn't have the money. I mean, we really didn't have the money to sit on $50,000 or more worth of product for a year at a time. It took us a long time to get out from underneath those. So yeah, that was another one of those things that one of those lessons learned. So yeah, it was
I'm pretty sure she went through a couple sales on your site, didn't she?
yes, he was on sale for a long time. We sold a
Oh
lot
my
of
God,
them
I
to other
remember
vendors.
that.
Oh yeah, we had so many of those freaking things. It was just like I could not believe. I laugh about it now. I didn't really. During that time period when I was going through that difficulty, I got two little small dogs. So my two little small dogs lived with me in my warehouse. And I can remember I was outside. We had, if you anybody knows, if you warehouses are typically in here in Tennessee, oftentimes they're in areas of town where it's an industrial area, often near highways. It's kind of a terrible,
Right.
So our old area was in a shit part of town. And I was living there. So I remember going out one night. It was October, November, something like that. I was outside late at night, and our warehouse was near our highway. I was out with my two little dogs, looking up. I was looking up at this billboard for this ambulance chaser, and I was just thinking to myself, I was like 47 at that time, and I was like, how in the fuck did I get here? I have fucked up my life so much. I'm 47 years old, broke, and I've got this fucking warehouse full of Heras I cannot get rid of. It's just an utter disaster. It's like you couldn't go any lower. But yeah, it's just eventually they all sold, and we managed to just stay in business. But god damn, it was awful. It was
So
awful.
how many of the Hera re-release did you order?
Well, actually, the thing was when they told us that they were going to do re-release all this stuff with photo real. I remember having discussions internally. I was like, I cannot believe I'm going to go back and put more orders in for Harris after what we went through. But we still sold a crap ton of them. I mean, we sold over 1,000 units. I mean, we still sold a ton of them. People, that's and I think that's probably partly because we're a bigger company. We've got more name recognition, and there's more people that shop the site than before. But yeah, it was crazy, crazy, crazy. Yeah, you don't wish
That might
that
also
on
had
anyone.
something to do with the fact that she came out with like a bunch of the Ghost crew around that time.
Yes. Are you talking? You talking last year's release?
Yes. I'm talking,
Yes, the last year's release was absolutely enormous with all of those characters. It was. I think there were two waves that went up at the same time that day. I think it was in May. We put up the first wave of pre-sales for the new packaging, and we put up those fan channel releases. Yeah, that was our biggest day ever. That was
wow.
enormous. A huge day. I mean, just a massive day. So it was like more. We did more in one day than we did all in 2014. So yeah, that's a big day. A really big day.
Like Hera got retribution.
Yes, yes, it actually all came around full circle and worked out for us in the end. But yeah, it's yeah,
So,
crazy, crazy.
one
Yeah.
rumor that I guess has been kind of following you around,
Okay.
just on message boards and chat rooms. Uh, but there was a comment attributed to you at one point that Vintage Collection outsold Black Series.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I think
It's not a
that,
rumor. I did make that statement at that time. Yes.
okay.
Yes.
So
That's not
is
true
that,
anymore. But yes, when I made that comment, it was true. And when I made the comment, I said basically the reason we're coming off a time period where these were Black Series releases that were tied to the Disney films, and just really didn't sell that well. We just did not. They just didn't sell well. Finn in Imperial costume, all of the Rays. Just I'm not passing judgment on the films. I'm just telling you from a sales figure that they did not sell well, and they went on clearance, and we had them for a long time. And that was not the case at that time with Vintage Collection. We sold a lot more Vintage Collection. I mean, I can't remember the example I cited then, but I mean, we would get 3,000 Vintage Collection Stormtroopers in, and they'd be gone. We'd have pre-sold, I don't know, maybe 1,500 or something, and we'd get them in stock, and they'd be gone in 2 weeks. So yeah, that's not the case anymore. We sell more Black Series, particularly after last year and the Mandalorian character. I mean, it's just been it's Black Series now outsells Marvel Legends. But at that time, that was an accurate statement. That was an accurate statement. But yeah, my feelings on a Vintage Collection are still the same as they were then. That Hasbro doesn't do enough with it. They need to make more Vintage Collection. We could sell a lot more, but for whatever reason, they choose not to. Not from a lack of me telling them. So that's for sure. So,
do you see a difference between the re-release waves and then the waves that include new characters?
oh, absolutely, absolutely. The new anything that has new characters in it, it outsells like the most recent kind of what was the wave that had the Attack of the Clones figures that had Anakin and Padme and the battle droid. Yeah, they sold okay, not great, but they sold okay. But yeah, I'm sure we sold more Ahsoka Tano's and Darth Maul's, those new Clone Wars styles, Ahsoka Tano and Darth Maul. We probably sold more of those two figures than we sold of all of the other, the previous wave, the Attack of the Clones reissue waves together in just two figures. Probably not even close. So yeah, the new stuff. There is still tremendous demand for Vintage Collection. It still sells really, really well. But Yeah, I mean, we're doing literally everything we can. All we can do is continue to tell Hasbro, you need to make bigger commitments. You need to make more. There needs to be more offerings. Um, but as I said before, at that time when I made that post, I still feel the same way. Until the big stores, until Walmart's or Targets make a bigger commitment to that line or that format, probably going to still be the way it is now. Probably not going to be any significant increases. So
Do you think that there's a way that us as customers can send that message to Hasbro? Is it mainly just getting on Twitter? Is it getting on Facebook and screaming our faces off? Or how does that message go up the chain? Because obviously, if you're saying it as a retailer, saying, "Hey, we want more vintage,"
yeah,
and
yeah.
Hasbro's not doing anything with that, how can we get that message up to Hasbro?
I think what had started last spring when this all kind of popped up, and I think what they started doing then there were some petitions that popped up online, which I think were a good idea. Um, but I don't have a great answer for you because I just know kind of working on this side uh, that it's Walmart owns the toy business. If they wanted it to be like it was in 2005 or 2004, they could have it like that. It could go back to that. But it's not ever going to go back to that until the large retailers that really move the needle make a commitment. It's just never going back that way. And I don't ever think that my own these are my own personal feelings. I just think Walmart only gives a shit about toys in the fourth quarter. So I think that's reflected in their stores. When you go through their stores, you see empty shelves. That's not because Hasbro doesn't make product or is unwilling to ship to them. It's just because they're not interested in toys. It's as I said a couple times already, toys are a low margin item, and yeah, it's just one of those things that I don't I don't think we're ever going back to the way it was before. I don't think the big stores are ever going to make
Walmart's all about
commitments.
them margins, baby.
Yeah, I just don't think they will. Actually I find it funny because I see the a crazy amount of exclusives, and I'll pick on Walmart for instance. They get a crazy amount of vintage collection exclusives, stuff that we would love to have. That would be wonderful for fan channel, and probably would service the collectors better because you could order it from us, or you could order from EE or Big Bad, and you would get it in good condition. But that kind of stuff, those kind of conversations I've had that with Hasbro over and over, it just doesn't. We're just not big enough to move the needle. I don't think any of the fan channel are really big enough to move the needle.
If Dorkside could have their own exclusive, just say the clouds parted and that became a possibility, what would be your ideal exclusive to sell? Something that hasn't been made yet, of course.
So, well, I mean, yeah, I would take easily a Black Series exclusive Boba Fett from the Mandalorian. That would be the top of the list.
Oh, good
If
call.
yeah, if we had yeah, with the with that yes, from we could sell probably 30 or 40,000 of them a day. I
One
would not
pre
be
cleaned up
surprised.
armor or post cleaned up armor?
Probably the post armor, the beat up looking armor. Probably that. I mean, that'd be wonderful exclusive. Um, but yeah, that'd be a great one to have.
Along those lines, I guess, how did that new Boba Fett Black Series helmet do for you guys?
It did really well. It did really well. I think it pre-sold out. So kind of circle back to earlier what we were talking about our forecasting. So when we put items up for pre-sale, we already have an idea about we've given Hasbro kind of a number. Hey, this is how many we're making a commitment to. So if we blow past that or reach that threshold in pre-sales, you'll see it come off the site and it won't be available at some other places. I mean, it won't be available at our store, but you'll still see it available at other stores. The reason that we don't continue to accept pre-sales and just put in another order is because uh, once you make a forecast, you give Hasbro a forecast, it's difficult to get that modified. If the item's already gone into production, we can't just ring them up and say, "Hey, I know we ordered 4,000 units of this. We want to make it 8,000." If we're 4 months from the shelf date, we're locked in at our numbers. So, that's why sometimes you see stuff on the site where it's like pre-sold out and it's available other places. It's just because we didn't have any confidence that Hasbro, we'd given them our order and we didn't have confidence that they could fulfill other orders. We may have gone ahead and given them additional orders, but we won't put it back up until we're certain that we're going to get them. So yeah. What's that? My collection?
Do
My
you just
collection is
collect
a
one of
mess.
everything, or is it?
No, I don't. I don't. This is how it generally goes for me. I'm at the warehouse browsing. We have a section where all of our damaged goods go. Like when the people who pick the orders, if they come across one that's damaged, it basically goes on a separate rack, and then we go back and attend to it later. So I'll go over there and start picking around in the loose in the damage section. I'll be like, oh yeah, because I opened a lot of my stuff. Now the vintage collection I keep on card, but like I collect Marvel Legends. Generally, every time I come home from the warehouse, I've got something new. I brought home Thanos the other night. I brought home Dark Ray. Trying to think what else did I just bring home. Shit, I can't even remember. There's a whole bunch of stuff stacked up. But here in my house, I just have it thrown in boxes. I'm the worst. It's just when I moved in this
Sounds
house,
like me.
I kind of had a junk room, and I just stacked it all in there. I've got some good stuff, some really good stuff, but yeah, sadly, none of it's on display. I keep some stuff here on my desk that I work. One of my favorite one is I know they didn't go over really well, but I love the hyper real Darth Vader. Just thought it was wonderful, looked great. But yeah, it wasn't a huge success, wasn't a huge seller. But yeah, I've got him on my desk and some other stuff, some other random Black Series, Akbar and Luke Dagobah. Yeah, so Miles Morales Spider Man, love Miles Morales Spider Man, love that animated look. So yeah, so yeah,
By the
got a
way,
hot toy. Yeah,
uh,
go ahead.
which hot toy? I'm starting to get into hot
I've
toys.
got I've got yes, I have a hot toy, the Punisher War Machine, and he is
Nice.
absolutely badass. So yes, yeah, we're gonna pursue hot toys. As soon as we can get our retail store open, we're gonna try to get a
Oh,
sideshow account
awesome.
and get into that.
So
Yeah, yeah,
so you're opening a retail location?
yeah. In the front of our warehouse, we moved into a new warehouse. It's a new building, so we had the builder kind of fashion us a small area in the front that we could do a retail store. My background is retail, and that's kind of what I wanted. Kind of want to have one, and having a brick and mortar is it's beneficial. It helps. With some of our vendors, namely like Sideshow or McFarlane, places like people like that, they want you to have a brick and mortar uh, store. So yeah, so we've not got it built yet, but we will. Hopefully in March, we're going to get it. We're going to get it put together. So yeah.
Do you think that there'll be an opportunity for people to place online orders and pick them up at the retail location?
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it just comes back to staffing. If we would like to run it like a private retail store, have set hours, be available on the weekends. So yeah, ideally that'd be great. We people kind of do that now. We have lots of locals who buy from us, people who order on the website, and then they'll come and pick it up. Um, so yeah, that kind of goes on a little bit now. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite Star Wars movie or series that you'd like to see more figure support get?
Look, I was born in 1969, so I'm a hardcore original trilogy. And the line starts at Empire Strikes Back. After that, everything is like, you can, it's Empire Strikes Back number one. But yeah, I mean, I've really enjoyed The Mandalorian. Uh, I was a mess in the season finale when Luke Skywalker showed up. It was great.
Oh, that was
Oh
a
my
cry
gosh.
fest.
Oh my god, I'm a total wuss. I was a total mess. It was wonderful. I mean,
I
that
know.
when I saw that, I was like, that's what I wish the sequel films had been. I was just like that feeling. I mean, yeah. So
I was at the
yeah.
point where I could form words. I think I was just like, oh,
Oh yeah. Couldn't believe it. Even when I'm so stupid. When the X-Wing flew in, I still didn't make the connection. And when the hooded Jedi got out, I still didn't think, yeah, it's not gonna be Luke Skywalker. Like maybe it will be, but they won't show him. Like, and then the green lightsaber ignites, and I'm like, oh god, it's fucking Luke Skywalker. That's amazing. And I'm just like,
I thought
don't
for
know if
sure
they're gonna show his face.
I thought for sure he was just gonna go through there and wipe them all out and then just leave without
Mhm.
ever showing his face or saying anything.
Oh, yes. What it was just that was wonderful. That was just absolutely wonderful. It was just awesome. So, those guys, I hope those guys, if they make, I know they're making more Star Wars movies. I hope those guys are involved in making the stories because that was wonderful.
Definitely
It
know
was
how to
awesome.
capture the that special magic that makes Star Wars
Yes,
Star Wars.
yes, and I think that was, I know love lots of folks love the sequel films, and I didn't think they were awful, but for me, they didn't have that emotional hook. There was none of the characters that I was really, really cared about a lot. So I saw them all and I've seen them all several times, but it's generally like I probably won't sit down to rewatch, you know, any of the sequels. Really, any of them. If I'm sitting here working on the site, I'll often have other monitor. I'll have Disney Plus open, and it'll be Return of the Jedi. I'll be playing, or I'll be playing watching the Mandalorian, listening to it as I work on the site. So yeah, not many of the Disney films.
You think that we'll be getting a Dorkside Battle for Endor exclusive Ewok pack anytime soon?
I don't think we're going to be getting any exclusive action figures, but we're probably going to be getting some exclusive Star Wars Dorkside shirts. We're not with Dorkside on it, but some exclusive designs that are. We're working with Impact Merchandising now to come up with some designs that are unique for us. So yeah, we are going to have some exclusive T-shirts, some Star Wars T-shirt, but yeah, probably not going to be any action figures in our future.
I'd
Not
buy
until
a
we get a
dork
lot
side
more.
shirt, just like a
Yeah,
straight
well, we have the
label.
T-shirts on the site, but yes, but
Oh,
I want some cool like Star Wars design shirts that are exclusive to us, and so
well,
we're in the
I'm
process of trying to make that happen.
I'm size large, so
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we probably
Did
need
you
to.
get
You know what? Since how many is on here? Three, six. What do we got? 12 people. I know we should probably send you guys all Dorkside shirts since you guys were all, you sat in here and listened to me, ramble on for an hour. So maybe we should try and make that happen. So yeah,
wow, I would
why don't
love
we
you
do that?
forever. That's
Okay. All
amazing.
right. Yeah. If you get me the list of the people and their actual names and addresses and the shirt sizes, I'll be sure that we get some exclusive. We'll get some Dorkside shirts shipped out to them.
Oh my, wow, thank you. That's awesome. I was just
No
joking.
worries.
That's
No, no,
amazing.
no, no, no. It's not. No, no, no. It's no big deal. No big deal. We'll get you guys some shirts. So yeah.
Posting dork side links from now on the server, guys. No, Big Bad Story and Entertainment Earth are now banned.
Hey, there. Listen, I actually have a pretty good. I won't say that we're friends, but I have a pretty good relationship with Joel at Big Bad Toy Store. Um, we've traded out goods in the past. You won't find me saying anything negative about them. I have the utmost respect for them. They have a fantastic business. They're kind of we measure ourselves against EE and BBTS, and that's yeah, I've had my differences with EE in the past, but not with BBTS. I've got tremendous respect for them, and yeah, so I'm like I said, I know Joel just a little bit, and yeah, they seem like good people. Yeah, so
I've
I would
been
never fault anybody who ordered from them over us. No, I would not fault
I I've been soured on Entertainment Earth ever since they did that countdown to reveal like a 5 POA figure. It was like a 5 POA Maz Kanata or something like that.
them.
And
Oh, really? Yeah,
they did like a big like I think it was during like one of the SDC's the Comic-Con panels, and they were like,
yeah,
in 3 minutes we're revealing a new figure, and it was like they did this whole thing, and then it was
sure.
like 5 POA Maz Kanata pack. And everybody's like,
Yeah,
"What?"
that's the thing. Well, look, I don't fault them for that. I mean, it's just look, you're always if you're selling online, you're always kind of looking for that edge, something that's going to drive eyeballs to your site, and so yeah, that's probably someone in their marketing probably you know had to beg Hasbro to give them some kind of exclusive reveal, and that's what they threw them a breadcrumb. Here you go, that's what you get. So
I think it was like a
yeah,
glow in the dark mask or something like that. Glow in the dark
yeah, yeah. I don't.
mask Kanata.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, they're a good company too. So I've like I said, I've nothing but the utmost respect for Big Bad Toy Store and Joel. They're he's a nice guy. Yeah. Yeah. I actually had a interesting I'll share this with you guys. So last was it last year because we were at home. So 2 years ago we flew to Hasbro. Um, so I was going to Hasbro was inviting us up to their retailer meetings before we had before we had an account with them, uh, because they knew that we bought a ton of Hasbro Southern Hobby in Nashville. So they would invite me up. So it was kind of a big deal the first few times I went. So the last time that we went, I actually the last time we went, I was like, I'm not flying up there again. Like, I'm weird about travel. I was like, I gotta have some room. So I get Dorkside generates a ton of Amex points for me. We pay for all of our shipping expenses, which is a lot on my Amex card. So I get a lot of points. So I was like, I'm gonna fly like a baller. I'm going to fly up first class, stay where I want to stay, go to the meetings. It's gonna be great. So on the way home, I actually sat next to Joel, who owns BBTS, on our flight. So we sat next to each other. It was kind of an odd kind of thing because I was just like, here's somebody who we compete against in the same business. I just sat through a whole bunch of meetings at Hasbro with him. We didn't talk much, but we actually had a pretty good conversation there on the plane and chit chatted. And I was sharing with my friend because he was giving me a hard time because I'd never flown first class before. And he was like, I was like, can you imagine how soul crushing it would have been for me if I had to sit back there and coach and I had to watch him walk past me and sit in first class? I go, it would have just destroyed my self esteem. So yeah, so it was kind of a neat little moment. So yeah, it was a fun thing. So we had a nice little trip. We got to talk a little bit
Good thing
about
that
each of our
plane didn't
company
go
meetings.
down. We'd be stuck
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Walmart
yeah,
and
yeah. Well,
Target.
yeah, well, I think they probably a lot more established than us, so they probably still managed to stay in business. Something happened to me. I don't know. Yeah, that'd be tough. That'd be tough.
One of the
Yeah.
things I know the Vintage Collection Facebook group, they are they're big supporters of this chat, and I think they're going to be
Okay.
posting what we've got afterwards. But
Oh,
one
okay.
of the
Okay.
things that they've been pushing for is for because of these waves that are being re-released of just existing characters,
Uh-huh.
how the fans can help choose, because I mean we know that they're going to be re-releasing characters over and over. How can the fans help choose what those four figures are going to be in a wave, and if there's any way that you guys as the retailer can help send the message of, if we're going to have to get the repacks anyways,
Mhm.
can we maybe get these repacks specifically?
Okay. So we often tell Hasbro, how to. So when it comes to reruns, so things that they send back into production runs, they take our input seriously. So if I tell them, hey, this is an item that's selling for $20 over MSRP on Amazon, you guys should potentially rerun this, provided it doesn't require new packaging or new UPC. They'll take what we say, and oftentimes it comes to fruition. They actually do rerun those. And their sales teams are really good about identifying items that need to go in, have additional production runs. Now, new items, I don't think they take a lot of input. I mean, I could tell them, hey, we need to make this. I don't think it would have any, like what I tell them would have any impact at all. I think the thing to do would be to just have the discussion and take it to Hasbro themselves. Hey, we'd like a fan vote. Hey, these fan votes are good. They should do more of them. One of my criticisms for Star Wars brand is that I felt like that the people calling the shots on what gets made or how many of each units, namely, I felt like they need to make a bigger commitment to Star Wars as a brand total. Um, that's made, the Star Wars teams, I guess the design teams make those calls. But yeah, I don't have any interaction with them, so there's nothing that I can say, hey, why don't you do this, that'd be a great idea. They don't solicit my input on that. But they will listen to you guys. So if there's a petition, if there's a particular item that you want to see made, then I would say just try to rally everybody around it. Take them, if you get a petition with 10,000 signatures on it saying, "Hey, we want this figure made," that's a pretty powerful message. I think that would resonate a lot more than if Eddie from Dorkside Toys says, "You know what? You guys should probably make that." They're gonna just be, look. going to do what they want to do. So, but if 10,000 people sign this petition and say, "Hey, we want this. This is what you guys should be doing. This is the direction we want the line to be going," uh, I think that has a lot more weight. That'll have a lot more impact in kind of the future of the line. So, yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
that's
I'll
kind
be
of
passing around the please make the Black Series dash Rendar petition link after the AMA.
okay. Hey, I'd be all behind. I'd be all in for it. That'd be a fantastic one to make. So, yeah, I read. It's one of the few Star Wars books I've read is Shadows of the. That was Shadows, right? Yeah, that was Shadows of the Empire. So,
yeah, it
yeah,
was.
yeah, it's one of the
Well,
few that I've
can
actually
you be
read.
my best friend?
Yeah, I'll be all in on that, man. I'd be all in on that. Absolutely. So,
I would take
absolutely.
an entire Shadows of the Empire wave with
Yes.
Shizor and
She's or
Fury.
yes. Oh man, the Chewbacca, the made up as the bounty hunter, absolutely had all those
With
Power the Force
the
twos.
mohawk and the eye
Yes,
patch?
the mullet. That'd be fantastic. Love that. Yes. Yes. So
Oh god, I love Shadows of the Empire so much. More than it's healthy.
yes. Yeah. So, okay, keep firing away. Whatever you got, just keep firing away.
So I guess it kind of ties
Mhm.
into the what you were just kind of alluding to, but on
Sure.
Floosh, you've made the comment before that the Marvel team, you're more happy with the relationship with the Marvel team than you are the Star Wars team. And is that because of information flow, or is that because of product selection? What makes the Marvel team easier to work with, even though you're working through the same sales rep?
Yeah. So we don't. Yeah. Again. Yeah. Let me just preface this. We don't have any direct conversations with the teams, the Star Wars or any of the brand teams. What I've said, and I said this to Hasbro, is that uh, people who are running the Marvel brand are the gold standard, and I really believe that. I see that we when we order Marvel Legends, rarely do we face allocations. They they give us an adequate amount of fan channel exclusives. All of the good stuff doesn't go to Amazon. Sometimes it's shared with Amazon, but we can generally count on getting 10 or 12 fan channel exclusive Marvels in a year. That's outstanding. We don't get that with Star Wars. Too many of the exclusives are Amazon, Walmart, Pulse are exclusives that we don't have access to. So, I mean, that's kind of I know that's self-serving, but um, I think it's in the best interest of collectors that it be opened up to fan channel, right? We as we talked about earlier, these exclusive vintage items that go to Walmart, they're going to come folded in half. If you're truly interested in serving collectors, you want them to be happy with this stuff. You need to let accounts who service collectors have access to that product. Right? You're not going to get a vintage collection incinerator trooper mailed from Entertainment Earth folded in half. They're not going to do that. Big Bad's not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But Walmart would do that. So yeah, it all comes back to as I said before, it's total dollar spent. So that's why they get those. But yeah, I've not been happy with things like that. With the number of exclusives, I've not been happy with. I feel like that they don't make a big enough commitment to the brand. That too often, too many items have to be rerun. I mean, listen. We've gotten raked over the coals about the repackaged, like the Ahsoka Tano from what we were talking about, the Rebels crew, Ahsoka Tano, which we
Yep.
still haven't gotten. One, uh, which the first wave of that had the Mandalorian stormtrooper. Um, what else? I can't even remember off the top of my head what else was in that wave. It was a fantastic.
Akbar and Tebow and
Were they in the first wave? Were you in the first one?
uh, for the new line look.
Yes, the clone trooper was in there. Oh no, it was the incinerator trooper? He was in that first wave. So those two, the stormtrooper, the incinerator trooper, we ordered thousands of those, and we got maybe 25% of what we ordered. And it's Hasbro's sold out. Unless they send those items back into production again, we're probably not going to get them. But they are going back in production. I'll say this, but that's what I'm sitting at. That's what I'm getting at. It's hard for us to run a business. Uh, Part of owning a business is managing people's expectations, and we don't want people to be disappointed with us. If we put an item up for pre-order, we want to fill that order. And if we don't get what we ordered, I mean, it's not, we could tell you till we're blue in the face, look, we apologize, we're sorry, but we're at the mercy of Hasbro, what they decide to do. And too often with Star Wars, we simply do not get all of what we order. They sell out, they don't send it back into production, and they move on to something else. And that's because they just don't, my feelings, they just don't make a big enough commitment to the brand.
There's people that complain that see, hey, this guy on this forum received their Dorkside order for
Mhm.
a Mandalorian Beskar, and why haven't I received my Mandalorian Beskar? And it becomes a comparing thing, and wondering
Sure.
why person A got it versus person B, and when is person B going to get it?
Yeah. A lot, there's never one answer for that. Sometimes people order stuff, they have other items that are on their order that haven't come in stock. So, as you guys are probably aware, we're not going to ship your items as they come in piecemeal. If you've got several items that are on your order and they don't all arrive at the same time, we're going to hold them and ship them all together. We do that for cost reasons. It's just we couldn't make any money if we sent items out piecemeal like Amazon does. So we can't do that. We have to hold them and try and ship them all together. So a lot of times that's what it is. Sometimes what we'll do is if you've got 4 items on your order and 3 of them are in stock and your total order value is $70, it doesn't reach the $99 threshold, then we're going to charge you for the 3 items that are in stock, and then you're going to go onto our allocation wall. We've got a huge wall that we set up where we actually physically pull your product and we set it over there, kind of like a layaway. And we hold it until your other items come in stock on your order. And when they do, then we ship everything together. That goes on a lot. That goes on a lot. And sometimes, a lot of times it's, as we said again, particularly, this seems to be a Star Wars problem. Whereas a lot of,
That's what I've noticed as well.
yes, it's not so much with Marvel. And I listen, I fully understand it. There are some people who, some people who love us and say glowing things about us online. There's some people who wish you know, we, burn up and go away, or we're awful, we're the worst thing ever. We're probably somewhere in the middle. But we, as I said earlier, we're generally trying to do the right thing. We want to treat people as fair as we can, and we're not purposely withholding people's stuff, and we're not just not sending you your stuff, and we're not trying to screw you over. Uh, you know, but on the Star Wars brand in particular, we face a situation where literally every item that is of huge demand, which you guys could, I'm sure everyone here knows those items. If it's a Ahsoka Tano, or it's a Darth Maul, or it's a Thrawn, or Cody, or something like that, things are going to be allocated. They just are, and that's the way it's going to be. It's for all of us. We all face it. So yeah, we're kind of at Hasbro's mercy until they send us more. If they sell out, like Cody right now, they're currently sold out of Archive Wave 1 Cody. We had the discussions with them today about it. They're getting ready to kick off some reruns on that, send it back into production. Uh, the Marvel Legends Hand Ninja, is that what it was? Yeah, it's a Hand Ninja. They gave us a whole list of stuff that potentially going to rerun, and we're like, yeah, we still got orders on that. You need to rerun that stuff. So yeah, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Why I'm so frustrated with Star Wars as a brand, because these are problems that don't pop up for us with Marvel so much, or Transformers either. We literally get when we order Transformers. Rarely do we not get everything we order in a single shipment. That almost happens every time. It's because as a brand, I mean, Transformers is a Hasbro brand, and they make a big commitment to Transformers, and we generally get everything we order.
Without getting in the weeds too much,
Yeah.
are the order sizes on your end generally the same, or is there a discrepancy where, if you only order 10 Transformers, you're going to get 10 Transformers versus 100 black, vintage collection Ahsokas?
Um, well, I'll say this: the more that you make a commitment to in a brand, like if we have, as I was saying earlier, when you give Hasbro forecasting orders, when we make a big commitment, we'll get a bigger percentage of what we order. But again, we tell them we want 800 cases of Marvel Legends of a wave, we're probably going to get all 800 of them in a single shipment. If we tell them that we want 1,000 cases or 2,000 cases of Star Wars in a single wave, it almost never ships in a single shipment. Almost never. We almost never get a single shipment, all of them dropped on us at one time. It almost always gets drug out. And it's just, and that just goes back to Star Wars as a brand. They need to build more product. That's what it is. They need to build more product. Those are my feelings. So, yeah, I think they need to build more product.
I think we all agree with you that they need to make more product.
They need to make more product. They need to make more, and I think that probably again, look, they're in the business to make money, and the people that these are not dumb people. They're very smart people. So they're very profitable and they're making money on these lines. It doesn't. They don't ever want to overbuild. You never want to overbuild and get stuck with excess inventory. So they've played it, in my opinion, very cautious with the Star Wars brand, and maybe they have good reason to be. Uh, you know, I don't think that some of the waves that we've had in the past with the Black Series, Imperial Finn, or some of those waves, going back a couple years ago, didn't exactly set the world on fire as sales wise go. So yeah, I think there's the feelings are they've probably been a bit gun shy about building, uh, committing to quantities that would be equivalent to what they might build on Marvel Legends or something like.
I camped out at Toys R Us for Imperial Finn on Force Friday.
You did. I'm so sorry.
And the only one they had was a crush box, and it was just like one.
Oh,
It was just him, and it was all sad and broken. And I was like, "This is like me." So I'll
oh
buy
yeah.
it.
I've camped out so many times for. I was camped out. I mean, I remember vividly camping out for episode one. I was there that night, frenzied running through the store, grabbing everything I could possibly get my hands on. So yeah, I've been there. I'm just like you guys. I'm a super hardcore collector. Love Star Wars. I'm fortunate that I could turn it into a career, and I've just been really lucky. Yes, I totally. I think that's one of the things that's helped us. We could not be as successful as we are if we didn't truly love what we did. We didn't really truly love the products.
Well, yeah, I mean, you obviously have to have some kind of luck to be in the position you're in, but just showing the way, just the way you care about like the customers and the actual everything about the hobby aside from just selling the product, and how that shows in like how you ship things, how you do customer service with people. Like I've had conversations with you guys, well, yeah, with you guys where like go literally go through like boxes of figures trying to find one without a defect because they all had a defect. Like when the Black Series Rebel Fleet Trooper came out and he had that chip in the helmet.
Hmm.
I literally, you guys actually, and I actually feel bad for making you guys do this, especially after hearing like the behind the scenes of how everything works. But they went through like 5 different figures before they told me that they're just all like that, and they actually are all like they were all like that for a time.
Yes.
And I mean,
Well, yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's no, no. I was just gonna say it's. I've tried to stress to our customer service people that we don't. We're competing hard against, as I said before. We measure ourselves against BTS and E, and we don't beat them by spending a lot of money on Facebook ads or Instagram ads or Google advertising. We beat them and we take market share from them by being better.
Right.
It's
So
very
that's what I was
simple.
saying. Like,
You
I
just
think
gotta be
luck has.
better. You gotta give better service. You gotta give better selection. You've got to be better in your pricing. You gotta just be better because people are smart and they will, if they have a good experience with you, they will share it with their friends. And we spend almost no money on marketing, almost nothing. We got a couple of, it's very little that we spend on marketing. And it's pretty amazing that we've been able to grow and get to the size we are. And we're not, Entertainment Earth has an affiliate program. Okay. So I'm not picking on anybody or saying anything. I'm just telling you that you see a lot of links posted online for Entertainment Earth, and a lot of times those are affiliate links. People are promoting that stuff just like they do with Amazon and places like that. It's because they have a financial incentive to do so. Um, we don't have an affiliate program. We can't afford it. Our margins don't allow us to do that. Um, but we just try and beat them with better service and better pricing,
Yeah,
and
I
just
think I
and
think
things like
I
this.
think right. I think a lot of that, like, I think it really shows that you guys are actually like of the hobby, you care about the hobby, you care about how people receive your product. And I think that goes a long way in how you've become really one of the top names in collecting. It's really, when you think about like domestic toy retailers, it's Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, and Dorkside.
It took a long time for us to be put in that to get in that conversation. So yes, we're uh, when you're those are two wildly successful, very successful Big Bad Toy Store. It gets an enormous amount of traffic. So to be mentioned, to consistently be mentioned with those guys is an accomplishment. That's good. That means that we're doing the right thing and trying to treat people fairly and just try to do the right thing. And we're not, you know, we're not trying to. We want if you're in business, you need to develop relationships with our customers. We have people who spent in excess of $20,000 with us. That's a lot of money. People who are loyal, and it's hard to win new people over. So when we get new customers, we want you to be happy with us. We want to retain you. Occasionally, we have a few people that some assholes that we want to see go by permanent, never come back. But most of the time, that's not the case. We want you to continue to spend dollars with us, because that pays our salaries, that keeps us in business. So
Trying to think
yeah,
of what you'd have to do to get banned from Dorkside.
from Dorkside, I can tell you what you can do to get banned. If you file a chargeback,
Oh
you will get
yeah,
banned on your credit card. Because I've
that's a
told our
that's a
people,
given.
like, yeah, we are not going to argue with people. If somebody has a problem, we're not going to just brush it off. We're going to try and fix it. They took the time to write us this email. We're going to try and fix the problem. So we have, I think, you know, I want our customer service staff to be really receptive to our customers and try and make them happy. And that goes back to even when I'm designing the store last year. When if you put a pre-order in the Dorkside and use a credit card and you want to cancel that pre-order, it doesn't require you to send us an email. You can just log into your account and click that little black button that says cancel, and your pre-order is gone. That gives you a lot of power and a lot of flexibility. It's not good for my business, but it's good for you guys. But I wanted that feature in there because I want to show people that we don't have anything to hide. We want you to shop with us and be happy. But if you for some reason you put a pre-order in, you have to cancel it. You don't owe me an explanation. You don't have to send me an email saying, "Oh, I can't afford it," or you just cancel it. You can just cancel it yourself, and you don't have to. That's the easiest thing. So yeah, we try to have a very open policy. But yeah, chargebacks are, one of those things where that'll probably get you banned because if you just write to us, if you have a real problem, we'll take care of it. It doesn't require you to get your credit card company involved. Uh, Once you get your credit card company involved, that whole dispute process costs us money.
Yeah, that's a jerk move.
And yes, that is, you're probably going to get refunded. You would have gotten refunded anyways if you just sent us an email. If you had a problem, if you wanted to get a refund, so that will definitely get you banned. If you act like an asshole, if look, people all have different ways of expressing themselves when they're unhappy. Um, just if you just what we're saying. If you just act like a total ass, and you're going to get banned. We're going to ban you. But outside of that, if you tell us that we suck on Facebook, you're not going to get banned. If you were to pop on this Discord and say, Eddie, you suck, you're not going to get banned. I'm not. We're just that's just yeah. We're not looking to kick people to the curb. So you have to really, yeah. We've had a few people who've tried some return frauds with us in the past, where they buy stuff and then they send back something else and say, oh, look, I've seen just about everything. So if you try something shady or underhanded, you'll get banned. But if you're, most people are good and they're not trying to pull the wool over your eyes or trying something underhanded. So yeah,
I'm
very few
surprised
people
they
are banned.
tried that with you and not Walmart, where they would totally just not even look at the figure and just give them the refund.
Yeah, well, sometimes people will send back boxes of. I mean, we've literally had people send back boxes of Hot Wheels. Have you guys ever seen Hot Wheels on our site? We don't sell Hot Wheels. We've had people send back just the most random crazy shit. Like just like, yo, bro, what? No, we did not send you this. Like, we don't even sell this. Like, what are you talking about? We don't sell diapers. No, we don't sell this stuff. So, yes, it's almost comical the kind of sometimes the shit that people try to pull. But yes, yeah, that's just about it. As long as you try to deal with us in an honest way, you're not gonna. It's not a good look to have to ban people. We don't want to do that.
Well, Eddie, I know that we've taken about an hour and a half of your time tonight. I know that we all really appreciate you coming on here and just kind of revealing behind the scenes and what it's like to be dealing with all of us on a daily basis. But is there anything that you want to add to any? I think we've covered most of the questions. I'm sorry if we missed any of them, but I think that we've covered them all. Is there anything you'd like to add just on a personal note?
Well, I appreciate you guys showing up tonight. And anybody who listens to this on YouTube, if you're shop with us regularly, then we appreciate that. If you've shopped with us and you had a bad experience, then I apologize. We do never want that. We are making a lot of improvements on the back. As a company, we moved into a new warehouse recently that's allowed us to hire a lot more staff. So our order processing, our procedures are sped up dramatically. And things overall, company-wise, things are looking up for us. Things are far, far better than they were for us 2 years ago. Yeah, I'm excited about our future. Yeah, so I'm just anyone who listens to this, just give us a shot. But yeah, if you're happy with Big Bad or Entertainment Earth, that's great too. They're both great companies. Yeah, and nothing bad to say about them.
But still, go to Dorkside.
But still, seriously, go to Dorkside. No, no. I wouldn't begrudge anybody for shopping with those guys. They've been in business a long time. They're good companies. And not everyone who's in the marketplace today selling what we sell, I can't say that about. So there's a few.
Well, I just want to say personally, I really appreciate you coming out and visiting our humble server. You've been absolutely inspirational in the things you've told us, and really gave us a good look at the inside of what it's like to own a major operation like Dorksidetoys. So,
Well, thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. I like doing this kind of stuff. It's that's why I try to participate in the forums over at Whoosh. I'm pretty active over there. Um, I don't have to be, but I like to try and be receptive, and I want people to know that there are real people that run these companies. I'm just like you guys. I just happen to have a great job, but yeah, we're here for you. We're here to try and serve the interests of collectors, and yeah, we're not getting rich, and we're not trying to screw you over. But the toy business is tough, and it's things don't always go as planned. We don't always get what we think we're going to get, but it's nothing personal. We're not just trying to take advantage of you, or just not fulfill your order. It's just the way it is. There are things that are out of our hands. Yeah. Anyways, all right, that's all I got. You guys got anything else for me?
No, I think that about wraps it up. Again, just another thank you, and we'll look forward to the next time we can schedule one of these chats.
Yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, just anytime you want me to come back on, I'll be happy to come back on. We can do it again. So, all right, sound good?
Yeah,
Sounds great.
Thanks
Okay.
everybody for coming out. Everybody, don't forget to get with Sith Strife about your shirt size, and we'll give
Yes,
you guys all
absolutely.
that
Yes,
later.
so, yes, please, Ben. If you get that list compiled, just everyone just get their address in and their sizes, and some of the sizes were sold out of smalls, maybe some mediums. But if you're large XL, double XL like me, I think we still got plenty good stock on those. I'll see to it that everyone who attended here, who gives their name and size, will get one. We'll get a Dorkside shirt. So yeah.
It doesn't count for you YouTube listeners.
Yes, it doesn't count for those guys. Just the guys in Discord. Yes, that's right. That's right. So, okay. All right. Thanks,
Thanks again,
guys.
man.
All right.
Get out of here. Okay.
Thanks,
Take care,
guys.
Okay. Have a good one.
See you next time.